All right, coming up next is someone that I truly admire. It's the only person I know that decides they're going to have not one conference, but two conferences, like back to back. And they weren't even in the same state. They weren't in the same location. She decides to have one conference all the way in Houston, Texas. Show Your Success Conference in Houston, Texas. And it was just totally amazing. And I was there. She says, oh, by the way, we'll see you again next week. And she was right here in Atlanta with Urban CEO. And she's someone that works with speakers, authors, coaches, trainers, network marketers, and help them really not only just tell their story, not only write a book, not only publish the book, but actually get paid from the book and over and beyond the book. The book is the easy part. Is in how do they turn that book into an ATM machine? And she'll give you all the stats on authors. And I'll tell you, it's worse than entrepreneurs. So, I want to be an author, I want to be an author. I'm like, have you seen the stats? So you'd rather be an entrepreneur who happens to have a book, and the book happens to make you money. Someone say, ching, ching. And so it is my honor, and it's my privilege to bring the person, not only do I respect her, she showed up, she had all this stuff, but she'll call you late at night. She'll share her words of wisdom, but more importantly, she'll make you a better person. So with that being said, let me bring up my friend and a cool person and just a bad mamma jamma, none other than the person all the way from Houston, Texas, by way of Atlanta. I got to bring the Atlanta back in the house, none other than Taurea Avant. I knew she could do that. I knew she could do that. She wants her own thing. She wants her own thing. She's ready. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. Okay. You're welcome. All right, so, Taurea, this is so cool. Like, I'm super excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm really excited. And so the first question is, you said turn your book into an ATM. I know you're going to get down and talk about some things later, but talk about the importance of folks not only telling their story, not only sharing their expertise and sharing their experience, but also getting paid from doing that.
Well, you know, I'm just a big believer that every single one of us has a gift. You know, we've all been brought here for a purpose. And a lot of times, things that we think are our gifts are not necessarily the case. It's the stuff that we know how to do without thinking that somebody's looking at you and like, how do you do that? And one thing I've come to learn is that if they will Google it, they will pay for it. And so why would we leave money and opportunity on the table by not having a book, by not leveraging ourselves and putting ourselves in a position where we are the expert?
Yeah, so true. So why do most folks just kind of stop with the publishing of the book? It's like, guess what, I got a book, and they'll give it to you. Hey, I got all these books, take these books. Right. And, you know, why do they stop there and really not take the next step and turn that book into a business?
Well, Shay, that's because people take too long to write the book. They make it too, you confuse the whole process. The book writing part is the easy part. It's the marketing where you see like I got my sleeves rolled up. That's when it's time to get to rolling up them sleeves and getting to the work. And so the thing that I believe is that you write a book to write another book. It's kind of like when you go to the buffet. You know that person that goes to the buffet and they put everything.
Yes.
Is that you? You put everything on your plate? It's a buffet. And so the reason why you get little pieces, right? Because you can go back up there and get more. Well, you should treat your books like the same way. And the way that we do business and even the way that we read books today are not like how we used to read books 5-10 years ago. Things are changing.
Well, tell us 3 ways things have changed over the last 10 years on how we're reading books.
Listen, don't nobody want to read a 200, 300-page book anymore. People want to say, you know what? I read your book in a day. Don't you feel accomplished when you've read a book? Yeah. And that's what we want people to feel like. And then guess what? When your next book comes out, guess who's going to be the first to buy it? The person who read the first one. So that's what it's all about. Write a book to write another book.
Perfect. And you found a way to really put together a system and a methodology that allows authors to get their books done.
Yes, sir.
How many authors have you helped along this journey, number one? Can you recall how many books you published along the way? And what's the one lesson that you would share to someone that's starting the journey?
Over 2,000 authors.
Give it up, 2,000 authors. That's the conference. 2,000 authors, 2,000 authors. Okay, how many books?
Yeah, it's not a game out here in these streets, okay? I don't know how many books, though. I just know it's over 2,000, okay? One tip that I can give to you guys is that the book should be leveraging your business, okay? A lot of times, and I'll talk more about that in the talk, we write about the wrong thing. We have to write about what people are looking for. And last time I checked, they're not necessarily saying the life of Taurea Avant, but there's a way that I can still intertwine my story so that I can leave a legacy here in this world with my books. That make sense? Okay, just want to make sure.
I like that. And no, you're doing good. This is
Okay.
good. This is good. No, this is good. This is good. So now on this book journey, you gave us one idea for authors that want to get started. What about the persons like, I've written 4 books already, they'll say, and they're about to write their 5th one, and they're have been hesitant to really get the support that they really need. What would you say to that person's out there listening right now?
I would say again, just write a book to write another book. Don't be hesitant. Your first book may not be your best book, your second book or your third book. You got to keep going. The key is to get better at it. And listen to this presentation, because I promise you, I've bought books and I did not know who the author was straight from the title. And so that's the key there, is writing a book that somebody, when they look at it, they're going to buy it.
You're going to be talking about how to turn your book into an ATM, which I love. And before we do that, I've been asking the question of several folks, ching, ching. I've been asking several folks come up here about today is my January 1st moment. So what was your January 1st moment where you said, you know what, Shay, I've done a lot of things. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, but helping them get this book done, helping them turn that book into an ATM machine, this is my calling. This is for me.
Well, I've got so many January 1st. That's why I love when we talk about New Year's, because it comes every year, prayerfully, right? And so we always have a new one. And I'll say the most recent, as far as me deciding to write books, was when I was in the network marketing space. I had become a top income earner in the industry of network marketing, and sat down with this gentleman who was a lawyer, and he had just made partner at his law firm. And I had just hit one of the top levels of my company, so I was feeling myself. So I was like, let's sit down, do lunch. I got it. And so when I told him I was selling coffee, his face was like, and then that's when I realized, okay, he don't respect me. He doesn't have a respect for me, right? When I know I'm getting this money, I'm getting to the bag, bless you, right? I'm getting to the money, right? Hashtag get the bag. And that's when I wrote the book. And then when I wrote the book, doors opened up that I never imagined. And I said, this is the calling here. This is what I'm supposed to do. That was the stepping stone. And so I decided to walk away from that industry and started my coaching business here in Atlanta in 2014. Everybody that I thought would come with me did not. And I had to start from the bottom and grind my way up to where we got to 2,000 authors through our program.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. For those folks that are out there right now, hit the share button, pay this message forward, hit the share button, and write, it's time to be paid from your book. It's time to be paid from your book with Taurea. So Taurea, we're going to take it over and give it to you. With that being said, everyone put their hands together. Let's welcome to the stage the one and only Taurea Avant. You got it.
Hey! They said I'm getting too much money. This is my song, y'all. If you ever come to one of my conferences and we ever do what we call Dial for Dollars, we literally make money at my conference. That's the song we play in the background where people are making calls on the phone. People are like, it's a little loud in there, yeah, because I'm on the mic yelling, hey! But anyways, it's a lot of fun. One of my favorite songs. I used to be in the band too, so that's why I like that version. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, let me just thank Shay Brown so much. Y'all, let's give it up for Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Listen, when I tell you him and Trevor and Justin right here, Justin came to my conference and came to speak. Listen, they came, Shay and Trevor came to Houston, and then they came here to Atlanta and literally lit up the stage. And the fact that we're now circling back around and I'm here at the Close Conference is a huge blessing, and I am so thankful. I want you to know, though, it has been a grind. Before anybody ever invited me to their stage, I did not wait for someone to tell me I was great. I started doing my own workshops, 4 to 6 workshops per month. 4 to 6 workshops per month. on the grind. You hear me? I didn't have the money to pay for no conference room. I was doing library events. I was doing a Microsoft store right in Lenox Mall. They used to let me go up in there. I would find clubhouses, whatever I had to do. So, you know, the thing is, a lot of times we look at these stages and we say, well, I want to speak at the conference next year. No, create your own conference. Don't wait for someone to tell you that you're great. Is that cool? Yes, yes? Yes. My name is Taurea Vision Avant, and I am from the 757, better known as 2 up, 2 down, where it ain't nothing to do but cook. How you doing? Okay? And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm a big believer in not judging people, right? I don't like to judge people because you just never know what somebody has been through. And I'm getting better at even not judging people's responses and or reactions to situations, because I want y'all to know something. It's a thin line between the pole and the platform. Some of y'all will get that on the way home, because guys, seriously, I could have been doing anything. That's my sister right there recording, and we come from a place where there's some of us that came exactly from the same streets that we're from, and they didn't end up on a stage. They end up maybe on a pole. And look, I'm not here to judge. That's why I created Urban CEO, which stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming, because a lot of the reasons why we end up in them situations is because we don't know about the resources that are available, or if we do know they're available, it's confusing. See, by the way, I might make up some words while I'm here on this stage because, you know, I don't have the best dialect, okay? And so if you know the word ain't really the word, by the way, all words were made up. So let's not get hung up on vocabulary, okay? So anyways, back to what I was saying, anything, I could have ended up anywhere. I could have ended up anybody. And so I'm so grateful, guys, that I was put into the right positions. And like I said, again, it's a thin line between the pole and the platform. Either way, make sure you get the bag. Get the bag. Everybody say hashtag. Hashtag. Get the bag. Get the bag. And like I said, sitting down, y'all, I was able to build, you know, a great organization in the space of network marketing. Network marketing is really what taught me a little bit about speaking in front of people. It taught me a little bit about leadership. I became one of the top income earners in the entire industry. And then I decided to write this book. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to tell y'all guys, I wrote this book, and I didn't necessarily get the kind of response that I had thought I would get in my industry, but around the industry, everybody started inviting me to like come speak at their stuff. Like, I lied to you not, guys. This is my very first book. It used to be called A Vision to Freedom. By the way, the good thing about self-publishing is you can always re-release your book. I just changed the cover a little bit and changed the title. Let me tell you something, right? And so I came out with this book. It used to be called A Vision to Freedom. And in there, I talk about goal setting, and I talk about vision boards, and I like to do what is called vision pictures, right? And so I wrote this, and y'all, I started getting invited to speak at all these events. In fact, this bridal organization, I ain't even been engaged yet. Look, they invited me to come and speak at their event. I said, do they know? I don't know nothing about no weddings, right? They invited me to come speak and talk about goal setting. Then I wrote a book about depression. I love the fact that you see more powerful people on stage talking about mental illness, because as an entrepreneur, I'm just a big believer that all of us go through it, okay? And you know, a lot of times you don't really want to share those things, right? I used to be afraid to tell people I was going through depression because I thought it would cost me business. Let me tell you something, you can never lose anybody who's assigned to you. I'm a big believer in that. And so if me being me and sharing my truth, guys, if it causes someone to turn away, hurry up and go quick. I don't want you around me because you're not assigned to me. Yes, yes? So anyway, so I built this and I wrote this book, and I fell into this depression. See, what had happened is after I wrote the book, y'all, first of all, at this time, I thought I had the man of my dreams. I thought he was going to be my future husband, right? He had told me all these things. He was like, you know, we just can't share. We can't tell nobody yet. Anybody to tell you you can't tell nobody? Listen, he got a whole lot of can't tell nobody's in the cut, right? Also, you know, it was just crazy. And then also in my organization in network marketing, I had one of my favorite friends, leaders, who actually ended up leaving the organization. Then my grandmother had gotten sick and ended up with cancer, even though they didn't tell us, because my family is from the South. You know, in the South, they don't really tell you what's going on. You don't never know, right? And then I had a friend, God rest her soul, her name is Michelle MacArthur. She ended up passing away from breast cancer. Out of nowhere, I found out, and 2 weeks later, she was gone. My life was spiraling out of control, and I just didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life. In fact, the only person who can really tell you that I went through this is her, because at the time, she was the only one who saw it. See, when you're an entrepreneur, a lot of times you got to go out the house and put on this face. You got to put on your lipstick, put on your heels, put on the smile, and make sure that everybody feels as though everything is okay. But I would go home and get straight into my bed. You know, Monica, I share this all the time, but Monica's a very passive person, and I'm actually the opposite, right? And I would just be in my bed for days and days and days. And it wasn't until, because when you go through depression, sometimes you don't know it until somebody like points it out, because it's a very numb state. It's a very selfish state, right? You're only thinking about, I don't want to be here. And that's how deep it got for me. And it was one day she was at the door, and you remember this, Monica? When she was like, Taurea, like, you really need to get out the bed. And she don't confront nobody, okay? And so for the fact that she told me that, I was like, I got to get myself together. Now, it didn't happen overnight, and it's not a final process. You don't just get over it. You go through it, right? But I made a decision that I wanted to do something. I started asking God, please show me what am I supposed to be doing, because I knew that this was not it. And a lot of times we ask him for stuff, and then when it shows up, we're like, well, wait a minute, that's not what, that ain't what I asked for, right? But the truth is that he'll always show up in a way that sometimes you may not be expecting. I got a call, well, it was actually an email, because at the time in network marketing, one of the funny things about me is I'm not I can be very introverted in certain environments, right? And so I didn't do the 3-foot rule, all that craziness they used to tell you to do. I would do networking events. They were called Lunch and Learns. And I would use a website called meetup.com. Anybody ever use meetup.com? Okay, meetup.com. And I would do these Lunch and Learns, and we would meet like twice a month sometimes. And I started to build up the group. And the group got up to about 500 people. And I got this message on Meetup. They said, look, we've got this space in Atlantic Station. Y'all know that's cute, right? Real cute. Atlantic Station, and you can have it for free. It holds about 150 people, and you can just use the spot for 5+ hours. What? Hell yeah. Look, let me tell you something. Y'all be waiting for well, let me wait. I'm not sure if I'm ready. No. I said, let's do it, right? 5 hours for free. I said, put me in. So anyways, I did this workshop, and I knew I didn't want to do a network marketing. I had been asking God to show me a way, but what we'll do is we'll revert back to what we know. Wait, I'm not ready. Nah, bro, I'm ready. So I did this workshop. Never had been a coach, never had did like a presentation and make an offer, never did any of that, but I knew I wanted to help people to, do something, right? I knew I wanted to help them to at least learn how to write a book. I didn't really have a whole idea of what it was going to be. That very first workshop in Atlantic Station, I had enrolled my first 5 students. And that was back in 2014. And as I told you guys, we've continued to grow, and that has been a huge blessing. I'm also a fur mom. That's Crown right there. He's here. I brought him here not in the hotel, but he's in Atlanta. And also, we've been featured on many media outlets, guys, just really sharing the great news about helping entrepreneurs to become authors. By the way, when you are an author, you are an entrepreneur, okay? A lot of authors are like, well, no, I'm not really an entrepreneur. No, you are, because you are responsible for marketing and promoting your book. Yes, yes? I have self-published myself more than 15 books. I like to just sometimes wake up and write a book. So the other day, well, not the other day, maybe a few months ago, I decided I wanted to write this book because, of course, like Shay said, I come across a lot of authors because that's the space I'm in, right? It's kind of like, when you buy that new car and you never noticed it, and then all of a sudden your reticular activated, whatever they say, system, y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? You start seeing that car everywhere. It's like you get into the author world, everybody's an author, right? And now what I've always found, though, is a lot of authors, though, they be broke. And at the end of the day, guys, titles are great, but you know what's better? The bag. So everybody say, get the bag. Get the bag. See, let me tell you something about these titles. Y'all be hung up on titles. I'm hung up on the bag, okay? You can call me what you want to. Just don't call me broke, all right? Y'all with me? So anyway, guess what I wrote a book about a few months ago? How not to be a broke author, okay? And so, by the way, I want y'all to know something. Just because I always get up and I share to people, y'all stop focusing on trying to be an Amazon top seller, okay? I tell people stop, because it ain't no money. But I said, you know what? I'm a big person on principle. I always tell people anything that I teach on principle and not theory. So I said, let me make sure that I have the title so then I can tell you why you don't need the title. Is that cool? I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. I know y'all like, what? What? You don't want to be an Amazon top seller? Let me tell you something. I never strived to be an Amazon top seller until that last book I just came out with. And I'll tell you what happened with that situation, all right? Also, if you guys want a free gift, because I did talk about depression and this PowerPoint presentation, you guys need to do that text message right now. By the way, if you do that text message right now, don't wait until the end. I know everybody's been doing text messages. It'll tell you to do something when you send in that text. You must do it today. And so one of the things that I have are these Urban CEO bands. It says, I'm an Urban CEO. Urban, again, stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, non-conforming. It's not a color thing, it's a culture thing. Does that make sense? Okay, now I'm going to give you also a free copy of this book, Depression. It is going to be an ebook version. I wrote this book because I was going through it, I overcame it, and I really wanted to be able to help other people. And because during the holiday season, more people do suffer from it, I've been giving this out. So make sure you guys text that right now, and it'll tell you what you need to do. So today, you got to make sure you follow the instructions that you get in the text message, okay? As I told Shay, we've helped more than 2,000 people. These are just some of the book covers that we have done. We also do specialize in collaboration projects, which are some of my favorite things to do. That means you're getting a group of people together that have basically some of the same results that they, in life, and you're able to really promote the book together. See, a big thing about me, guys, is I believe in collaboration. Again, like I said at the beginning, I don't believe you can take anybody that's already assigned to me. And so my thing is this: if I am supposed to be the bridge for you and someone else, that is also a blessing. Yes, yes? Y'all, we got to understand that sometimes we're supposed to be that bridge. Another thing, let me tell you something. People are always talking about sowing seeds and sowing seeds. I think a lot of times, though, when people sow seeds, they expect the harvest to come right from where the seed was sown. But what you must understand is that when you plant the seed, it germinates and it spreads out deep, far, and wide. That's why I wear this oak tree. I love oak trees so much, I tatted it on my back. It spreads far and wide, and then when it actually comes from out the ground, it can come from a whole nother location. See, you got to stop staring at the seeds that you sown and just keep on going and growing and going, okay? Does that make sense? Because y'all be like, I put them in touch and they ain't give me nothing back. Now you focusing on the wrong thing. You're supposed to be going forward. How you go forward if you looking in your rearview mirror? Yes, yes? Okay, so anyways, y'all, another thing about me, now I know I got my cute little shoes on, honey, but these are my presentation shoes. As soon as I get off the stage, I'm going to put my flats right back on. Let me tell you something. We've got to stop focusing, and I don't see anybody in here necessarily like that, but I know it's nice to be able to make your shoes match your bag and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You want your shoes to match your bag, right? But what we want to do for 2020, going into this new decade, we need to make sure that our bag matches our goals. Okay, y'all with me? Your bag needs to match your goals. Are y'all with me? And so look, that's what we're going to get excited about, right? What are my goals? What am I achieving? Not about this materialistic stuff. It's about getting the bag and what we're going to do with that. Yes, yes? All right, now, let's talk about writing a book. Why should you write a book? And one thing about me, I like to give examples so that you can get your mind flowing, because some of y'all are going to come to me and say, girl, I got an idea. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do, okay? So the first reason why you need to write a book is to launch, grow, or market your business. Now, does anybody like to get massages? You like massages? Look, Monica, she get a massage every other day. Okay, why do y'all like to get massages? What is the result that you achieve when you go get a massage? Relaxation. What else? Tune up. Ooh, yes, huh? Anybody feel happy? Guys, if you've ever gone to go Google how to be happy, you'll find billions of articles on this topic of happiness. It's so funny to think about it, though. People are Googling how to be happy. But remember what I said over there. If they'll Google it, they'll do what? Pay for it. You know how I know? Because I did. When I was going through depression, y'all, I was trying to find everything. I paid a psychiatrist. He was a hot mess. It didn't work for me. It maybe worked for some people, but he didn't work for me. So then I was looking for like naturopathy type doctors, right? And there was this place on the south side of Atlanta. I don't even remember the name of it, but I just remember pulling up to this white house, big open space, a lot of yard, and I came into the house, and it was a real nice house, you know, very comfortable, homely, and stuff like that. And I was telling them what my situation, I'm depressed, I'm going through this, I don't know what to do, I need to pull out of it, I don't know how to pull out of it, right? And they gave me like this kit, little kit, and in the kit, it had a book. Hello. In the kit, it also had some pills, and guess what they called the pills? You better believe it. Happy pills. They were like these little small clear pills. I don't even know if they were real, right? And then they had like some other stuff in there as well. I paid $500 for this kit, y'all. So is it safe to say that people will pay to be happy? Okay, so you go to a massage therapist. Now, what most people will do when they write a book, they're going to write a book about massages. Okay, I'm a massage therapist. I need to write a book about massages. Why you should get a massage, how massages help. No, you write a book about how to be happy. Because we're living in a world where everybody's going through upsets. More depression than ever. You write a book about the tips to happiness. And one of the tips is to do what? Get a massage. But now you're writing a book about where the media wants to talk to you because now you're telling them about something where everybody wants to know how to do. Does this make sense? Yes, yes. But now let's make some multiple streams of income. Everybody say, get the bag. So now guess what else you're going to do? You're going to talk about aromatherapy because when you do your massages, you put it under the nose. Anybody ever gotten a massage? You be like, what is that? Right? So you're going to sell some aromatherapy because that makes you feel good. You know, a couple of us talked about the subconscious mind today, right? You know what's crazy about the subconscious mind? Is that it doesn't want to be crazy. Crazy people do not think they're crazy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like if you see someone, you ever seen someone and they're just talking to someone and nobody's there? To you, nobody's there. To them, someone is there. Crazy people don't think they're crazy. Let me wind it back so you can understand what I'm saying. See, what you say about yourself over and over and over again will be your truth. So if you keep saying I'm broke, eventually, even if you do got a couple dollars, you will be broke. So if you're telling yourself that this aromatherapy is going to make me happy, do you understand what I'm going at, right? Y'all understand where I'm going? This aromatherapy, it'll make you happy. This is why they give placebos, and all of a sudden these people are being cured because their mind is so powerful. So you can tell somebody if you smell this 3 times a day, it's going to make you happy. Isn't that crazy? Then another thing you can sell is some meditation music. You don't have to sell the meditation music. It doesn't have to be yours. You can find someone with it. I'm not the best at doing meditation, right? But one day I felt the need to do some meditation calls. Y'all should have heard it, y'all. I used to do these meditation calls. And one day, look, it depends because I was traveling so much. So I might be in the bathroom. You hear a crowd in the back. I'm like, oh, sorry, y'all, sorry. Then one day I was doing a meditation call, right? Because I was doing like these daily morning meditations. And I'd be like, everybody just close your eyes and breathe. It doesn't take no special technique. Just do it, right? One day I was doing a meditation call and the phone just fell. I was like, oh, hello, y'all. Let's get back into it. It was the funniest thing ever. But people were jumping on that thing. You could sell that. Then you sell a happiness retreat. You can talk about pressure points and teach people different things. Multiple streams of income. That's why you write a book. Yes, yes. And so I talked about that. Now, also, people love to hire authors to speak. There are some conferences where if you don't even have a book, you don't even get to talk. But even if you do get to talk, you need to always have a book. By the way, this bag is full of books. I got books available for sale. I don't go nowhere without books. If I'm at the bar, I got 2 books. I ain't lying, y'all. I make money all the time. I go to the bar, I bring 2 books. You put 2 books, always 2 books and stack it like this because at the bar, people got, courage juice. You ain't got to drink. You can drink water. I drink Jesus juice. But you put it at the bar, and eventually somebody's going to say, is that your book? And you're going to say, yes, it's $20. I swear, guys, do it. So anyways, back to what I was saying. People love to hire speakers. So I was on this platform one time because I wrote the book about depression. And listen, y'all, I'm not a doctor. I don't know a whole lot of medical terminology, but I was on this panel talking about depression and overcoming it. These doctors up here using words I don't know, traumatology. I was like, look, when they got to me, I said, look, I don't know about nothing they talking about. Let me just tell you what I did, and I wrote about it. At the end of the conference, though, guess what everybody was doing? In line for the woman who wrote the book about depression, and I was the only one walking away with money, cha-ching. How you doing? Also, when they can't pay your fees, they will buy your book, and I'm gonna share you with somebody that actually did that, right? She sold a lot of books. Now, what do these people have in common, y'all? Authors. What else? Leaders. Speakers. Would it be safe to say they got money? I mean, they look like money, right? Right? Well, first of all, guys, yes, they are authors, but they have a team that does this work for them. They have a different calling. A lot of times what we do is we get bogged up trying to write these books, and it becomes too much work, right? That's why a lot of people say, Taurea, I just don't have time to write the book. That's because you're supposed to have a team. But many of them leverage their books to build their businesses. Also, they've written multiple books, bless you. Look, this is what's funny. Okay, John C. Maxwell, y'all know who he is? What's he known for? Leadership. Now, when he wrote the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, wouldn't it be safe to say that should be it? It's irrefutable. Like, there should be nothing else. There's nothing better than the 21. Does that make sense? But he still keeps coming out with books about leadership. And if you've read one, guess what you're going to do? You're going to keep reading. How do y'all got more than one John C. Maxwell book in your house? Joyce Myers, what did she write about Jesus? Last time I checked, it was one book that said everything we needed to know, but she will still come out with a new book. And you know another thing that's cool about Joyce Myers? She is never on stage without at least one book in her hand promoting it. How many of y'all get on the stage and have y'all books in y'all hand? Let me give you a little tip. Whenever you get a chance to speak, always have your book. Figure out a way to incorporate your book in every single talk that you do. Yes, yes? You should not be an author with your books in your bag. That's not how you get the bag. Yes, ma'am. You always have your book. Yes, yes? All right. Now, as I was telling y'all, the challenge that a lot of authors have is that they must understand is that the way that we read books are not the same the way we read them 5-10 years ago. See, guys, we got to understand that we are growing in business, right? We live in a modern capitalistic society that says that if you keep doing business the way you've been doing it, you're going to be out of business. See, the last thing you want to be is outdated and last year's model. Because when you're outdated and last year's model and you're old, don't nobody want your business. In fact, they don't even want to pay full price for what you got. You've been talking about that same book for 5 years. Has anything changed? Does this make sense? You must grow. We've seen what happened when Blockbuster refused to grow and they stayed outdated. And then you had the Red Box who was, they one-upped them, but Netflix took it all over. And now that's the only way we watch movies now. It's through smart TVs. Yes, yes? So we don't want to be outdated in this business world. Guys, stop worrying about how many pages. The value of your book has nothing to do with how long the book is. Yes, yes? Everybody keep asking how many pages. No, what's the value? There's books out there. Do you know there are books that have no words in them? There are books that y'all have bought. They have no words in them. It's called a journal. Some of y'all gonna be like, oh, that is a book. Yes, it's bounded. It's bounded. And you can buy it, and depending upon who you buy it from, it may cost 20, it may cost 40. Yes, yes? All right. So let's talk about some of the book profits formula. Remember, guys, if you did send that text message, I'll make sure to email you this, guys. You're going to identify the purpose of your book. This is very important, and I'll talk a little bit more about the planning, but you must know the purpose of your book. So when I wrote my book, A Vision to Freedom, it used to be A Vision to Freedom, I wrote it because I wanted to recruit more people into my network marketing business. That's when I wrote it at that time. And then because I'm no longer in network marketing, I decided it was time to kind of revamp it. This is one of my best books. I get a lot of people that read this book and come to me with highlights and tabs and all types of stuff, so I knew I needed to re-release it. Also, you need to announce that you have a book coming out. Now, if you've never done this before, even if you are an author, but if you have never done this before, I want you to do this. Y'all ready? I want to know who does it too. And I'm going to give you some tips, okay? Please, y'all, do this tonight. And when you see me tomorrow, some of y'all going to come to me like, girl, ooh, wait a minute. Some of you are going to walk away making hundreds to thousands of dollars this weekend if you follow the instruction. Y'all with me? Who's really serious about making money? See, people always tell me, Taurea, I need to learn how to make money. I'm broke. I ain't got no coin. I say, well, follow this. And they don't. Well, wait a minute. Guys, let me tell you something. If they are not paying your bills, you have to stop worrying about what other people think about you. It's the only reason why you will not do this is because you're concerned about other people's opinions. I realized a long time ago, them opinions don't pay no bills. Look, I can't call the phone company or the power company and say, look, Jimmy said. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go to Facebook, whichever one you have the most influence on. You're going to say, I'm excited to announce I have a book coming out. Don't ask me what else. Should I add this? I did not say put no pictures. I did not say put no special characters and emojis. Real simple. I'm excited to announce I have a book coming out. Tomorrow I think I'm talking a little bit so I can kind of tell you what to do with that. Do not comment. Just let people say congratulations. The only thing, this is what I will give you because some of you are going to get a lot. The only thing I will tell you to do is this. If somebody says congratulations, you're going to say check your inbox. That's it. Reply on their comment and say check your inbox because the nosies are going to then start commenting congratulations as well because they want to know what's in the inbox too. Does that make sense? Don't say nothing about no title, what it's about. I'll tell you guys, if you have those questions tomorrow, I'll tell you what to do with that, okay? You're going to say check your inbox. Then you're going to send them a message, say, I want you to be in the book. Tomorrow, I'll tell you what to do with that. If they say, how can I do it? Just wait till tomorrow. Look, y'all got people y'all have messaged and you didn't hit them back to the next day, okay? I'm excited to announce I have a book coming out. When they comment, congratulations, you're going to say check your inbox. If you don't get a lot of comments, the ones that like it, you know how you can click and see who liked it? You tag them in your post and say, whatever name, check your inbox. People are going to start commenting. That's all I want you to do tonight. In fact, what I'll do for those of you who did text, I'll also give you an extensive training because I just taught someone how to do it the other day. Young lady, I did it just like a couple days ago. The young lady just messaged me. She says she's already at about $800. Now, some of you guys are going to be able to do that in a day. Okay, cool? All right, so you need to also know what is the goal of your book. The reason why I want you to announce it is because it's going to give a little energy to you. Does that make sense? Because we do care about what other people think. We got to stop, but you still do. Even though I said it, you still do. And so now that people know you got a book coming out, you're going to want to be able to do it. Yes? Now, we need to know what is the goal of your book. How many do you want to sell? When the book comes out in the first 90 days, how many do you want to sell? But how are you going to leverage those books and build multiple streams of income? You got to do these things. How many media outlets? What media outlets do you want to be on? When I wrote my book, Depression, I initially had a whole lot of wine bottles. You saw the cover, right? But when I did the updated printed version, I kind of had them edited out. Because I knew that college kids and high school kids and even elementary kids may possibly want to know a little bit about this. In fact, I did a video on YouTube. It's 140,000 views now. It's 10, 11, 12-year-old kids commenting saying they're going through depression. It's a real deal in this world. And so I knew that, so I had to make sure I updated my cover just in case it needed to be in some locations like that. That make sense? Also, how many conferences? You know, some of us, we're not even preparing in advance for the conferences that we want to speak at. If you want to speak at the next closed conference, you should already have your book prepared, ready to be shipped out, sent to Shay with your nice speaker sheet, a nice introduction or something like that, letting him know who you are. Yes? Now, planning your book, okay? So again, we got to plan the book. A lot of times when I get down with clients and I ask them, I say, as a result of somebody reading your book, what are they going to learn? And we get these generic responses. People don't want generic. They want specific. People don't care about titles. They care about results. Somebody doesn't go work out just because they want to work out. Either they're trying to get a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's specific goals. You done got a scare, a health scare. Yes? You want to live longer to take care of your family. You don't just want to lose weight just because. There's a specific reason why. Does that make sense? And so you must understand, as a result of somebody reading, what are they going to learn? My book says, a six-figure vision, tips to making more money, happiness, and success. You have an idea what this book is about. Yes, yes? So you must know that with your book. Some of us, we too deep in this world. These book covers, don't nobody know what your book is about. If somebody looks at your cover and they ask you, what is this about? Something is not right. Guys, it doesn't have to be deep. The subtitle should tell them exactly what is this book going to teach me. And then the next thing they're going to do, this is how you know you qualified, because if they do this, and then they say, oh, okay, they're going to flip it over. You hit the first check, yes? Now on the back, this is another thing I see people do on their covers. On the back, remember, we live in a world where people don't really want to read long stuff anymore, right? So the purpose of this is to hurry up, get straight to the point, and show the reader what they're going to learn. So I like to make sure I bold out different things. I have different colors. I don't have one long paragraph. It's not just all about the book. I don't have a long bio about me, because the truth is most people really don't care about my story. They just want to know, how can you help me? Does that make sense? And so I make sure to have it broken down on the back cover. Your book cover should be so strong that you don't have to be there to explain your book to sell it. It should just be able to sit by itself and sell. Yes, yes? And if it's not doing that, that's why y'all need to start going out and putting it on the board to do like this and see what happens. Because if they don't want to just buy it, we need to revamp. And the great thing about being self-published, you can always redo your book. Well, Taurea already came out with this, so what? Re-release it again. Make it better. You don't have to redo the whole content. Okay? Y'all with me? Yes. Create the outline first. So one of the things that we're doing now with our company is we're creating now micro books. Okay? This is the new thing. I'm trying to tell you, everybody's doing micro books. Again, we live in a world where people want stuff quick. Just because it's shorter doesn't mean it's cheaper either. You still charging $20. By the way, anybody here that sells their book for less than $20, please stop. Ain't no, people be talking about, well, you can get my book for $13.99. Who got that? Stop. $20, okay? I've got students, their books are 50 pages, and they sell the books for $20. Okay, does that make sense? How much? $20. I could be at an event and everybody could get up talking about my book is 5, my book is 10, and I'm going to get up and say my book is 20, and I'm still going to sell them. You know how I know? Anybody ever shopped on Amazon before? And you looked for something and you saw all these different options, and the cheapest one, you say, no, because I don't want the cheapest one. I don't want to go too cheap because it's going to be cheap, right? And so then you go a little bit towards the middle one, or you might even fancy the higher one, right? But it's the same thing. You know that? So just because you made your book $5 does not mean that it's, more people going to buy it. Don't stop devaluing yourself. So 3 chapters. Okay, so what I typically do is you're going to have 3 chapters or 3 steps, or 7 chapters, aka 7 steps, 10 chapters, aka 10 steps. So if my book is about being happy, 7 steps to happiness, real simple. I create the steps, that's the chapters. You take the chapters and divide them into 4 to 6 sub-chapters. You're not just writing your book like this, the layout like that, just because. You're doing it because to the subconscious eye, when the person flips your book open, because that's the 3rd check. They're going to look at the cover, they're going to flip it over, and then they're going to do like this. Tell me I'm lying. They're going to do just like this. Now you think they just read your book that quick? No, they're looking to see if it's easy to read. And you know you've done it too, right? You said, oh, this looks like I can read this. How you know? You just flip. Right? Right. You said, oh, I can read this. Right? So they're looking to see if it's easy to read. This is why you use this format, because you want people to see your book and be excited about your book. Yes, yes? You want somebody to be so excited they can't wait to get home and read the book. Yes, yes? Okay, so you're going to start off with either 3, 7, or 10. Y'all with me? And then you're going to take them and divide them into 4 to 6. So example, let's just say that your book is about losing weight. One of the ways to lose weight is to do push-aways. We know what that means, right? Push away from the food, okay? AKA eat better, right? One of the things we know we need to do as far as eat better is maybe checking our nutrition. That's one subchapter. Another way is to drink more water, or drink, 2 cups of water as soon as you wake up, right? Another way is to maybe eat more vegetables, right? Number 3 is to do more vitamins. Those are 4 subchapters within the chapter of calling it the push away. Yes, yes? You see how easy it is? And guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. You write a book to write another book. Write a book to write another book. Stop trying to put everything in there. By the way, most people will not even read it. Stop calling people saying, did you read a book? And being mad. Your friends and family, they bought it because they wanted to support you, not because they wanted to read it. I'm being dead serious, y'all. Oh, by the way, you should just join the BPC. We'll talk a little bit about that. Facts. People love to buy books. They don't mean they love to read them. You know how I know? Because all y'all probably got stacks of books in your house. You got shelves of books in your house where you have not read them. It just look good. You know how many people went and got Michelle Obama's book, didn't read it, and put it just right on the coffee table because it looked good? 70% of most people who buy your book will not read past chapter 1. That's not why you wrote it, though. You wrote it for the ones who are going to read it and for the impact it's going to give you on your business. Do you understand? Yes, yes? But if you make it easier to read, more people will read it. That's why we break it down into the chapters and subchapters. Also, people don't want to read long books anymore. We talked about that. Let's get straight to it. That book right there, How Not to Be a Broke Author, you know how many people contacted me and said, I read it in a day. It was amazing. In a day, like in a couple hours. It's a real easy read. Listen, I'm telling you, the information industry will be a $300 billion industry by 2025. I learned that from my good friend Justin Burns. That's why we're partnering, because I want to make sure that once you write this book, you need to be able to have you an online course. Guys, information is huge. And a lot of us, what we do is we look left and we look right at other people. Oh, well, I wrote a book. She making money teaching books, so maybe I'm going to teach people how to do books. But you were saying over here that you wanted to help women that were going through breast cancer. What are we doing? I'm confused. Focus on you, because there are women right now who maybe you've overcome that, who are looking for you. And people only respect that of what they pay for. Oh, I don't want to charge them, though. Then they don't respect it. I'm being honest, y'all. Listen, stop undervaluing yourself. I want to make sure that, you can pay for it, so I'm just going to give you the discount. I said, look, 2020, new decade, I said, I don't care who you are, you get no discounts. I put that on my Instagram just the other day. I ain't playing. I don't care if you Obama. If Barack Obama come to me and say, Taurea, I want to write a book. I'm going to give you the regular price, too. Yes, sir, okay? No discounts, right? Exactly. But it's a huge industry, guys, and there are so many things you can teach. Do you know there's people making money online teaching people how to do natural hair? You could write a book about that and become a speaker in that space, and now you got people sponsoring you and paying you money to talk about natural hair. It's not, look, I'm trying to tell you, guys, also, if someone likes your first book, they'll buy the next book. Now, why do people not write books? Entrepreneurs, in fact, fear, false evidence appearing real, guys. Also, people don't understand the value. If you're not an author yet, and you're saying to yourself, okay, maybe I'm getting it, you ain't really all the way got it. You got to write the book. The book is what gets you on those stages. The book is what gets you in the media. The book is what people are looking for. There's huge value in being an author, but then you got to be an author that gets out here and rolls their sleeves up. When somebody asks me what I do, I say I'm an author. I don't say nothing about no coach. Nobody care about that. I say I'm an author. They say, oh, I promise you. Everybody says, oh my God, what did you write about? Well, I teach other people how to write books. That's what I write about. You do that for your business. I'm an author. Oh, what do you do? Well, I help. Does that make sense? Yes, yes? Now, some people say they don't know how. Well, I gave you some tips on how to do that. Also, that it takes too long, guys. I wrote that book in a matter of hours, How Not to Be a Broke Author, because it's a subject that I know about. Does that make sense? It's a subject that I know about. It's a subject that I'm passionate about. Don't get into a space that you're not passionate about, okay? Does that make sense? If you know how to make food real good, who know how to cook real good? Like, just wake up and make ingredients. See, that's something I'm not good at. Oodles and noodles. I know how to do a good butter bean and turkey necks. That's about it. It's tacos. Yeah, Monica said tacos. Yeah, because I'm going to go home and cook tacos. I always crave tacos when I go back home. Like when I travel and go home, that's my number one. And then I cook DiGiorno pizza. Okay? I told my boo, I said, look, I'm going to cook you a meal. He was like, you ain't got to. No, you ain't got to. I was like, don't do me like that. But look, there's people that can wake up and put stuff together. That's right there. People want to know how to do that. There's some of you that are really good at organizing. There's people who want to do that. Guys, there's so much. Write about something that you're passionate about, okay? Yes, yes? And then some people say they're not a writer. I'm not a writer. I'm a businesswoman. I'm about getting the bag. So a lot of people tell me, well, you know, I'm not a writer. Let me tell you something. I used to say I was shy, but that was keeping me broke. So I had to create an alter ego. I had to create an ego that when she stepped in the room, how you doing? If it means I got to get a glass of wine or two, then that's what I do. Don't judge. All right? Okay. Truth about authors, 80% of most authors make below minimum wage. That's why when somebody's like, oh, I've written 5 books, congratulations. Let me tell you something. We need to change that, y'all. Stop writing about what you want to write about. Write about what people are looking for. You want to write about what somebody needs. There's this book out called The Power of the P. You, and y'all know. How to get men to do something, whatever. I don't even know what it is. All I know is say how to get men. I said, let me get it. And when I say I read that thing in a day, I never met this woman. Then in the book, she redirects you to her coaching. I looked at her like, listen. I'm messaging her, listen. I need to know. I was following her technique. She got a little technique you do. It works. In my mind, I think so. I don't know, right? 80% of most authors make below minimum wage because everybody I meet always tells me, Taurea, but my story is unique. Everybody gonna want to know my story. Okay, well, when they start, you know, when that time comes, but for now, let's write a book that's gonna help people overcome something specific. Because then when you get on the stage, you can tell your story on the stage. Yes, yes? Amazon top sellers does not mean 6-figure income. So I did that Amazon top seller the other day. By the way, I didn't even know you could price your book for $0 and sell it to be an Amazon top seller. Somebody was doing that just the other day. But I priced my book at 99 cents. I did it on, I don't know what day it was, maybe Monday last week. Monday last week. I did a promo, barely promoted it, by the way. I think I sent that email out a couple days before, and then on the day of, I said, hey, y'all, get my book, get my book, get my book, get my book. Less than 100 people bought my book for 99 cents. I became an Amazon's top seller for 99 cents of less than 100 people. My commission, $50. So when these people be running around here, Amazon top seller, excuse me, but are you getting the bag? Because we gotta stop focusing on titles. We live in this world where everybody wants to be a title. Guys, it's all about impact, results. I want to leave an impact in this world. I don't want nobody is going to go, when I die, nobody's going to say, you know, Taurea always wore, you know, the best, you know, Rolexes, and she had the best Mercedes. And no, they're going to talk about the impact that we've had on each other's lives. So stop getting hung up on these Amazon top sellers. You know, to be a New York top seller, New York's bestseller, you know what they do? You ever notice, how is it that they're New York's bestseller? The book ain't even came out yet. In what world? What happens is bookstores and things like that, they all buy the books. I was watching this show recently, and they were like, it's called The Dagger. It's a book about a publishing company. It's called a dagger, like if it looks like you bought in bulk. And the lady simply said, that's because I'm about to run for Senate, and so we've been buying books so that when I go on my book tour, and they were like, oh, okay, so that's fine. You can buy them in bulk and become a New York's bestseller. You ever notice the people who tend to become New York's bestsellers are generally rich? They already got money. Yes, yes? Not everybody, but they got money. Yes, yes? Okay, the average author will only sell 250 copies. We got to change that. Authors lost a lot of money because they only focus on selling the books. That's a whole nother thing, too. Some clients, they say, Taurea, I'm trying to sell 10,000 books. Let me tell you something, guys. If you're only trying to sell 10,000, you're missing out on a lot. Let's just imagine that whatever it is that you sell 10,000 books, and 10% of those people end up buying your product or your service, even if your product or service is only $297. 10% of 10,000. See, you understand what I'm saying? That's a lot. That's a lot of coin that we're missing out on because we're only focusing on selling a book. And then the worst thing is to not write enough books. Here's Mary Ned. When Mary Ned got in our program, she was one of my first students. She wrote her book and was pre-selling before the book even came out. Not only did she pre-sell 50, this is a flyer showing what she would do. She actually pre-sold 75 copies of her book before it was printed. Dr. Jasmine Zapata, she's written a book. She was a part of a collaboration book that we first did. Then she was in another project, but then she wrote her very own book called Beyond Beautiful. It's now translated in 2 different languages. She was offered an opportunity to come speak at a school. She helps with empowerment of young girls. The school didn't have a speaker's fee for her. A lot of us, we trying to get paid speaker's fees, guys. Sometimes there's more money at the back of the room. That's another conversation. But anyways, so they didn't have money for her speaker's fees. So you know what she said? She said, no problem, buy my books, because they got money for books. They bought 450 copies of her books. If 10%, because even children can become clients. If 10% of the kids, because I would tell the kids, take this home, give this to your mama, and tell them or your daddy, and let them know I'm doing a retreat. If 10%, 45 kids came to her retreat, multiple streams of income. Yes, yes? You have Brian Keith Bailey. He was in the military. He became a real estate agent, decided that he wanted to help empower vets to learn about the benefits that they had available to them in the from being in the military with buying homes. Military reached out to him and wanted to offer him a position to teach vets about how to get homes. You got Kitten and Atia Gray. Kitten wrote her book with her daughter, Rock the Crown 101. They talk about head wrapping. This was her first book, just came out with a collaboration book with her amongst other women. She has now been inspired and empowered, just came back from Thailand. A couple weeks before then, she was in Egypt. We went to Africa 3 years ago, and everywhere she goes, she's coming back with authentic cloths that people can buy to wrap their heads and be a queen like they deserve to be. Multiple streams of income. Orlando Haynes, he was working a full-time job when he wrote his book, teaching other people how to be great in their careers. Offered speaking opportunities, radio shows. He's come out with several books now, and he is full-time coaching people about how to climb the corporate ladder. Multiple streams of income. So I'm going to tell you about the Book Profits Club. My sister is going to pass out some stuff right now. These are formed. Make sure you give them a yellow and a white one together. The Book Profits Club, this is 3 micro books per year, guys. We actually help you to do the work. See, guys, you're out here busy building your businesses in the area that you're supposed to be in. This is what we do. You allow us to help you to have these books to be completed. You're going to get 3 books a year, and we're going to create a series. So it's not just random books. There's a purpose in how this series flows. Yes, yes? We help to create your chapters. We record the content, transcribe, and format. You literally do not even have to write your books or type your books. You got to pull out a pen or a keyboard when you're working with us. Okay? Collaboration book, because I love collaboration projects as well. You're also going to be able to be in one of our collaboration projects per year. Now, this is a monthly subscription. So the way it works is every quarter, so month 1, month 2, month 3, your book will be done. Then the next month, month 1, month 2, month 3, another book. We also help you with pre-selling your book, getting money. So what I just told y'all as far as the technique, you're going to do that every single time. Yes, yes? Bonus, list of important book fairs, festivals, and conferences that you can actually be at to sell your book. Also, tips and trainings. Guys, I love giving tips on different things you can do. Here's a tip. Find 4 top podcasters that you can be able to send a copy of your book to every month. 4 top. There's all type of platforms. You send them your book. Stop trying to sell your book to everybody. You send them a book, 4 books a month. Even if it only ended up with one book opening up an opportunity for you to get on a podcast where thousands of people are listening in. Is it worth it? Yes. $9.97 down, guys, and $2.97 a month. That is the program that we have here with BPC. In fact, it's funny because Trevor's the one who actually told me to do it. The very next day, I already had it ready to go. We also have a platinum package where you get everything with the gold. We also design your website. We create your capture page. We create a flyer. You get a speaker sheet, calendar. Woo! Everybody loves calendars. I have a calendar called the Planner for Authors. You're going to start seeing it too. You're going to start all these planners. I saw a planner for podcasters today. Planner for teachers, planner for fitness enthusiasts, planner for people who love to drink water. It don't matter. We'll create it and design it for you. And you're going to get a book video design. That's just an additional $200 a month. So it's $9.97 down and then $4.97 per month. Does that make sense? Yes, yes? So the Book Profits Club, you get 3 micro books that we help you to design. We create the chapters, record your content, we transcribe it, we edit it, we format it. Guys, I know people who pay $15,000 for one book. All right? One collaboration book. Bonuses, festivals, events, conferences, tips to training, selling, and market more books. Again, $9.97 down, or you can choose between the gold and the platinum. Now, this is what we're going to do. So this is only for the people, I don't think they can even see the screen, that are watching. But for those of you that are here, what I'm going to do is waive the $9.97. Y'all hear me? So not $9.97 down. And you're not even going to have to pay $2.97 down. For the first 7 days, you're going to pay $1. For $1, what's going to happen is you're going to get access to our online portal where you'll see all the different festivals, events. You'll get access to the training and things of that nature. And I'm going to allow you to get one book cover designed for $1. I've paid $250 for covers before. For $1 in your first 7 days. Now, you got to be able to submit your information back to us within the first 7 days so that we can design your book cover, okay? Now, after the 7 days, you'll then be charged either $2.97 or $4.97, just depending upon. I want you guys to get a chance to test this process out. So for $1, guys, you're going to be able to get access to something that we've been able to help more than 2,000 people. Guys, I understand a lot of us want to do stuff ourselves, but what you want to do is focus on you being the best version of what you've been called to do and let us do the heavy lifting for you. So with that said, y'all, I don't have any more time, but tomorrow I'm going to tell you what to do with that post you put, okay? Now, this $1 down is for tonight, and if you need to talk to me between the weekend, you can still talk to me. I'll be here the whole weekend. I drove here from Houston with my dog Crown and all my equipment, so I'm not going nowhere. I'll be here, but you must send that text message tonight and make sure you follow the instructions. Guys, I am looking forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow. Hey! Said I'm getting too much money. Oh, I thought I was bringing you up. Huh?
Let's give her a hand. Let's give her a hand. You can stand. Let's give her a stand. I'll be back in a moment. I'll be back in a moment. No, do your thing. Get your music. That's what.
Okay. He's talking about do your thing. So look, this is what we're gonna do. Cause he's about to. You cut the music. So while he's getting ready to set up, because I'm going to be bringing up the incredible Shay Brown. Shay, can I read this poem? It's like 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read this poem. I do have a couple of my books available for sale, and guess how much they are? $20. Yes, no sales. We don't do sales on books, okay? So this is a poem that I always like to read. By the way, if you're not a great speaker, because some of us say, I wish I could be a great speaker, you know what I did? I put a poem in here purposefully, so if somebody say you got 2 minutes to speak or 3 minutes, I just read the poem. The poem, I promise you, everybody remembers this. And it's not something I wrote. I found it online. It's anonymous. You can find one. You can create your own, whatever. Put it in your book and read it. You want to sell your book? Put something in there where you can just read straight from the book and people will buy it. Yes, yes? So anyways, this was a story because, you know, I used to be in this network marketing company, and we sold coffee. And so I used to always try to find, like, you know, motivational stories to share on this call. And so this was, like, perfect for the coffee business. Okay, so y'all ready? Okay, so there was a couple who took a trip to England to shop in a beautiful antique store to celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary. They both liked teacups and antiques and pottery, and especially teacups. Spotting an exceptional cup, they asked, "May we see that? We've never seen a teacup quite so beautiful." As the lady handed it to them, suddenly the teacup spoke. "See, you don't understand. I have not always been a teacup. There was a time when I was just a lump of red clay. My master took me and rolled me and pounded and patted me over and over, and I yelled out, 'Don't do that, let me alone!' But he only smiled and yelled, 'Not yet.' And then wham, I was placed on this spinning wheel, and I was spun around and around and around, and I was getting dizzy, and I'm going to be sick, and I screamed, 'Stop, please!' And my master, he only nodded and still said, 'Not yet.' He spun me and poked me and prodded and bit me out of shape to suit himself. And then he put me in the oven. I've never felt such heat. I yelled, I knocked, I pounded at the door. Get me out of here! And I could see him through the window as he shook his head from side to side and said, not yet. When I thought I couldn't bear it another minute, the door opened. He carefully took me out and put me on the shelf, and I began to cool. And I felt so good. This is much better. So I thought. But after I cooled, he picked me and brushed me and painted me all over. The fumes were horrible. I thought I would gag. Oh, please stop it, stop it. I cried, and he shook his head from side to side and said, then suddenly he put me back in the oven, but see, this time it was not like the first. See, this time it was twice as hot. I just knew I would not be able to take it. I begged, I pleaded, I screamed, I cried. I was convinced I would never make it out. I was ready to give up, and just then the door opened up and he put me on the shelf again, and I just cooled and waited. What is he going to do to me next? An hour later, he handed me a mirror and he said, look at yourself. And I said, that's not me. That couldn't be me. It's beautiful. I'm beautiful. Quietly he spoke, I want you to remember, I know it hurt to be rolled and pounded and patted, but had I just let you alone, you would have dried up. I know it made you dizzy to be spun around on that wheel, but had I stopped, you would have crumbled. I know it hurt and it was hot and disagreeable in that oven, but see, if I hadn't put you there, you would have cracked. I know the fumes were bad when I brushed and painted you all over, but if I hadn't done that, you would have never hardened. You wouldn't have any color in your life. If I hadn't put you back in the oven the second time, you wouldn't have survived long enough because the hardness would not have held. Now you are a finished product. Now you are what I had in mind when I first began with you. The moral of the story is that God knows what he is doing for each and every one of us. He is the potter and we are his clay. He will mold us and make us and expose us to just enough pressures of just the right kinds that we may be made into a flawless piece of work to fulfill his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So when life seems hard and you're being pounded and patted almost beyond endurance, when your world seems to be spinning out of control, when you feel like you are in a fiery furnace of mess, I want you to try this. Brew a cup of your favorite tea in your prettiest teacup and sit down and think on this story and have a little talk with the potter.